Sure looks like it's time to replace this window, and that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to show you entirely in one video how to rip, remove, and replace a window. We're going to show you entirely from demo to start to finish. So bear with us, it's going to be a couple minutes, but we're going to get this entirely out. First things first, we score the existing trim, just so it doesn't take any paint with us when we're moving the trim. Tap it with a hammer and remove it gently. You don't want to damage any of the existing sheetrock. Now here's the caveat, this room will be painted. Next, you remove these rubber pieces. They cover where the window is screwed in. There should be 4 of them. There should be 4 screws. You could see the holes, but they didn't screw the window in, so nothing's holding it in. So we're going to take the panes of the window out, then we're going to remove the screen, and then we're going to begin our process after evaluating the outside of prying and cutting and removing this existing vinyl frame. We take our Sawzall, we cut all the way around just to make sure there wasn't any screws or nails that we didn't see. There wasn't. Now we get our pry bar and we pry out, and we realize it's being held in by what is a storm window frame on the outside. You see all the insulation at the top? That's because the window that was there was way too small. It was inch small on the top and the bottom. So not only was water getting in, but a draft was getting in as well. Another thing is this is trimmed out with sheetrock on the inside. I don't want sheetrock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all that out. First I'm measuring just to see how this relates to the window that I have that I'm replacing it with. Next, it's time I take out the sill. That sill's not going to be good anymore. And we notice some wood rot in the existing 2x4. We pop that out. Now we put the new one in and we fasten it down. We removed all of the sheetrock, which was 1/2-inch sheetrock covering the rough opening of the window. Now to get my new window to fit, I'm putting 2 T-buys in, fastening them down with deck screws because I'm using those because they can handle moisture, even though that is not going to be an issue. Now, Protecto wrap. This is a rubberized membrane I put on. You use this wrap around all windows and doors, and you wrap it in thoroughly around the inside and tuck it down the outside behind the siding, behind the insulation to make it waterproof. It can be a moisture area, so you might as well use your rubberized membrane to waterproof it. Now, I'm using AZAC to trim out the entirety of the inside of the rough opening. This is to get it to the size I needed anyway, but I'm using AZAC because it is, again, it can handle moisture, and I have the Protecto wrap over the ledge on the inside. Now, here's my window. I'm putting it in. You'll notice it fits very snug. It's going to be a flush-mounted window because it is a vinyl replacement, and it is the exact thickness of the opening. So unlike they didn't do, I'm taking my screws and I'm screwing in 2 screws at the bottom. Then I'll put my rubber cap down. I'll tap it down. As you can see, I need a little bit of a hammer, give it a couple taps. I couldn't do it with my fingers. I cut my fingers about 6 times while putting this window in. Now, I go up to the top. I had to drill my own holes, 2 on the top. They give you 4 screws. You're supposed to put 4 in, but they didn't pre-drill the holes on the top. So I pre-drill them, and I fasten them, and I make sure the window open and closes, plumb level square. And I'll be back tomorrow to trim it out. Back at you with part 2 of the window install from yesterday. Again, we ripped, removed. We had some questions. There was rotted wood around and sheetrock that we had to replace. Sheetrock had mold. So what we did is we did double 2x4. We did the Protecto wrap. Then we did the AZAC, all to help with future moisture. Now the new window is a flush mount window due to its thickness. It is a vinyl replacement window. It is wrapped in foam for insulation. Then we sit there and we caulk in both the AZAC and we caulk entirely around the window, top, bottom, sides, all of it to make sure that no air or moisture can get in. Now that this is complete, we can focus on our trim. We first have to patch in the sheetrock below from where we had to replace the sill that was rotted out entirely. So after we do that, we screw it in, we make our marks, and we're ready to put our ledge. We're using 3.5-inch colonial casing. We got our little bit of a miter on the bottom angle just for decorative look. We're going to go 3/4 of an inch bigger than that with our window ledge, and then we're going to go the same size as the base. For the top of the window, we have it lined up. We have a 1/4-inch reveal all the way around on that trim. Next thing, we caulk in everywhere. We caulk around the window. We caulk around the base of the trim. Then we measure for our legs. Our legs are obviously going to be 45s. We then hit it with the wood glue. We glue our corners and we nail. We're using 2.5-inch finish nails and we're nailing them in with our battery-operated nailer. Shout out to DeWalt. I know I'll get some hate because you guys love Milwaukee. Anyway, caulk in around the entire window. You wipe down and there you have it. This entire room's going to be painted. Thank you.